Welcome to Vintage Burn Podcast. This is Kev.
Doug.
And we have a special guest tonight filling in for Marco. You might remember him for a couple podcasts, Dr. J.
I shot him 6 times.
Perfect. And we just finished watching Halloween Kills. If you don't want to listen to this for spoiler-filled parts of the movie, then I suggest holding off, until you can finally get to it.
Yeah.
Because
you
this
lazy
will be,
bastards.
Yeah, exactly. You're either going to listen to this now live or you're going to hear it whenever the hell we drop it this month. So, yeah, man. Jay, why don't you, as the special guest, why don't you give us your thoughts on Halloween Kills?
This was the most brutal movie in the whole series, the whole franchise. Rob Zombie's sitting at home going, fuck. I know that those ones get a lot of hate, but I love the Rob Zombie.
Do you?
Yeah. I think they were awesome.
Well, you're also a huge Texas Chainsaw fan, and there's a lot of that gratuitous violence in those movies that Zombie does.
Yeah, but this really put it to shame. Michael was on fire.
Yeah.
That was nuts.
Yeah.
Dude, this is a very brutal, very fast-paced and very brutal.
Yeah.
Except, fast-paced as fast-paced can be because Michael just kind of walks slowly.
Yeah.
So, slowly fast-paced.
Hardest scene for me is the old couple, and when the woman's down on the floor, when you're seeing her from her point of view slowly as her husband's being stabbed repeatedly and slowly by Michael with multiple knives from the kitchen, as many as he can grab, and I'm like, and it's slow, the pace is awful, and it is robotic turns.
Hesitation, almost like an OCD kind of way. He was like, I need another knife in my thing.
Yeah.
And it's kind of just out of focus enough where it's it doesn't need, you know exactly what's happening on that counter when he's stabbing knives, and you don't need to know, you don't need to see it.
They show the knives on, they had a magnet on the wall. They show all the knives along the wall. So
I gotta get one of those things anyway.
Once again, who has that many butcher knives? They have nice napkins.
My stepfather has that many butcher knives.
Really?
Yeah.
Dude,
okay, all right.
It's nuts, though. Just that. I'm like, wow, this movie is dark. So, what'd you think, Doug?
I just want to say we do have a few more people. We have our special guest, Dr. Bodwin. We do have our friend Caruso.
That's right.
And our other friend, Jeremy, who are sitting here in case you hear some extra voices.
Hello.
Say hi, guys.
Some extra love in the podcast.
This is
very excited.
We advertise this as the slasher after party in the woods and with the hordes of vintage burn, and I like to consider you guys in that crew.
The horde.
So
I want you are a whore.
Thank you.
I mean horde. You are a horde.
I expect a t-shirt in the mail soon.
Yeah. Membership card. It's coming, I swear.
How about some estrogen, folks?
Oh,
Lolo,
the missus.
Right.
Lolo's in the house.
Hey, Lolo.
Telling us to go to sleep.
I should have been first.
Telling us to go to bed. Stop podcasting.
Yes. DOA.
Wow.
She's like, shut it down.
Go to the fire. Another
Go to
special
the
guest
fire.
in the background, Elmac.
Go to the fire burning down the backyard.
Doug, so what did you think for the second time now that you actually watched it?
So, quick backstory.
It.
Last night, me and Kevin decided to watch it. It came out, obviously, at midnight. So we decided to watch it at 2 instead of at midnight, like normal adults. I woke up, fell asleep, and then, fell asleep the last, 20 minutes. And honestly, now watching the whole thing in, succession, I actually enjoyed it. It's definitely lives up to its name. Halloween Kills. It's very fast-paced. It's very gory. It's very just brutal. And I'm actually very excited to kind of see where they go with this. I'm sure we'll all mention at some point about the window in the house. What is going on with that goddamn window?
There's absolutely something there. You get the reference in 78 in the original, but then they bring it back up now where we can see Michael's little boy in the window at a quick glance from her character, and then he stands in that window multiple times and just stares into the darkness. I don't know if he's looking at his reflection. I just think we see it, but there's something. I'm telling you, I just thought of it. It's got to be the house. What if it ends up being that's the tie? It's Laurie and Michael. What if it's the house and Michael Myers? You burn down the house, you burn his soul, or something crazy like that.
There's going to be, and that's why I'm very curious to see where they go with this.
Yeah.
Deep, man. I have a weird take on this. So with the last 2 films that they came out with, the first movies in the Halloween series were all about terror, but I feel like the last 2 films were more about lessons with today's society.
Yeah.
And what's interesting is it's weird. This movie, I was actually, and I said this a few times during the movie, that was on Team Michael. And I just felt like like we have problems in today's society, and I felt like it was a situation where like we don't fix them, we acknowledge them, but we don't fix our current problems.
Yeah.
And it gets to a point where like we don't solve them, and Michael is finishing the problems by ending them in bloody murder. Like
no, it's totally pointing out the evil in society.
exactly. So I feel like
The
in
worst.
the first couple of films, like they're beautiful horror films, and now it's like there's an addition of like a societal like conjecture. And I honestly, this whole movie, like you were saying, it was so fast. I was so excited throughout this entire film because I felt like I just felt like things are getting taken care of. And I just feel like with everything like just so up in the air in society, and like, you know, with COVID and all these other things, and like the stock market and life in general, like 21st century is difficult. And I just felt like this was kind of, it added like a little extra like mark onto that.
Yeah, with like the kind of political, social,
Yeah.
everything. Well, we were just talking about like, what was it? You might know. Was it The Dark Knight, the one with the Joker, when they have the two boats?
Yeah.
And it kind of plays on the whole comic thing, but then they bring the whole like kind of like human psyche into it.
Well,
And
what he was trying to point out in that movie is that the straight-laced people, the normal people, you know, are, when the chips are down, he says when the chips are down, they'll eat each other.
yeah.
Yeah.
And
So,
that's
That's
kind
what
of,
he's proven, and the boat full of
it was like
the
two
straight-laced
boats, right?
people were all ready to push
Yeah.
the button, but no one wanted to do it.
Mm.
And the boat full of inmates, they're the ones who said it was
Yeah.
the dude from
You know what,
Friday,
that was
Yes,
powerful.
yes,
He throws it out the window.
I remember that now. That was a very powerful notion.
I mean,
And I feel like you can get behind Michael on this to
you-
a certain extent.
did you kind of get vibe? You're right. Did you kind of get vibes though from this with the like mob mentality, with like the whole like
Yeah.
they don't care, like they just want to like bond through hate no matter
Yeah.
who it's about or what it's about. It's just like that feeling, that energy that they're sharing, not even about Michael anymore. You know what I mean? It's just
I think
This
kinda
was the-
going like a couple different directions too, because they kind of made it seem like Michael wasn't evil.
Exactly.
Almost alluding to that. but
Yep.
He did kill his sister before any of this started.
Ex-
You know?
but she was promiscuous, and that's what they did in 70s movies. They just killed anyone promiscuous.
Right.
70s, 80s.
I agree
I
though.
was
The
thinking of
message
Dugan.
is in a different direction.
What do you think, Lolo?
Well, I feel like I want to hug a kitten. I think you definitely have to,
Yeah.
like,
Not the same kitten that Marco goes to the strip club, right?
no, it's a
That
very,
came up like 3 times earlier.
I'll
I'm
be
sorry.
honest, the kill scenes are rough, but I think it's more about, like, the societal aspect of it that just makes you be like, oh, fuck. Like, you ever seen Black Mirror? Like, that feeling when you watch Black Mirror where you're like, oh, shit.
Yep.
Yeah, like there's
Yep.
that sense of reality,
It's just
like,
so
ooh.
uncomfortable where you're like, oh, that probably would happen, and that really sucks that people would actually turn and, you know, do something like, you know, what happens with that inmate in the movie, even though he's a terrible person. Like, at the end of the day, I feel like, I don't know.
Do we-
I don't know.
No.
It kind of gets to.
That's
really
an
complex
excellent
issue.
example. I think
Yeah.
you're right.
Do you guys remember 2018 was definitely, there was a feminist movement, the Me Too movement was super prevalent, and Jamie Lee Curtis was like using this role to be powerful female figure over the male character who is strong and evil and whatever. Do you feel from a woman's perspective that was present in 2018? I think they moved away from that topic and subject.
I agree with you on this,
Yeah,
on the
I think
new
they
one.
went in, it was just more of a societal direction, more of like, you know, really just ganging up and like
Mob rules.
mobbing, yeah, and just what would happen in that environment. And I mean, people were being pushed down the stairs. Like, it's just what would happen.
I mean,
People just get crazy.
Kevin did make a good point earlier this morning, when we were cuddling, that that
Spooning.
the old fork and spoon, eh?
Hey, you know what, Doug? I was just
No, but
thinking-
you made a good point.
What happened when I left? So is, isn't it?
You made a good point where like this was filmed, like, you know, that was kind of 2018, the whole Me Too, you know, everything
Yeah.
was going on. And then like this was filmed kind of like, obviously it was supposed to come out 2019 because of COVID, it got pushed back. It was supposed
Yeah.
to come out in 2020. So during that time, I mean, think about what was going on, all the
Oh, yeah.
Black Lives Matter
Yeah.
protests and stuff. So I don't know if they kind of took a little bit like, oh, this is like of the period, and like, so this
It's
kind of
smart.
relates to
It was
what
smart to do it.
Caruso, myself, and Jay were talking about, like with like the original Dawn of the Dead. How
Yes.
George A. Romero was able to kind of take
Yes.
the tensions of the race riots
Yeah.
and kind of this whole, like, you watch that movie, it's like, I didn't grow up in the 70s, but I kind of got a feel of what it might have been like.
And it was cool that he used a strong black male character in Dawn of the Dead. Nobody else was doing that.
Yep.
That's
Yeah,
why
you-
horror's
you-
always
what
done
a-
shit, man.
Oh.
Horror has always stepped over the boundaries of the times and been like, fuck you, we're gonna do what we want. That's why everyone's like,
Yeah.
oh, I don't like horror. I'm like, dude, you know how many strong female leads came out of horror before we had any other drama, suspense?
That's why
leads?
I don't feel like you mentioned about like the 2018 the Me Too movement having an effect on that. I mean that's always been there in horror movies. It's always been
That's true.
the final girl and
Right.
overcoming that.
Nothing was new, is
Always
what you're
been
saying.
that.
It was
Especially
nothing
like
new.
slasher flicks because they came out in the 80s and it was after the 60s and 70s with the
Yeah.
Women's Lib and everything. It was that was at the forefront. And that was because of Romero. Because in 9/11 Dead, this is the 60s, 1968.
Yeah.
Right,
Dude,
scream
I always forgot
movies
how early
have-
that
scream
was.
movies have always
And he
been a
takes
thing.
charge of
Yeah.
that house.
Yeah.
There always is a powerful female, I think, role in most horror movies. So I think that's pretty awesome.
By the way, for rights reasons, we are podcasting, but we are not playing the Dubliners. That is coming from.
We don't know.
We don't own the music. We're not playing it. It's coming from a neighbor who's jamming right now.
If you listen to the show, you
Dude,
know we're not
So,
playing this.
please don't sue us.
That is hilarious.
To paint a picture for you, we are outside and
They're clapping.
We are
Yeah.
in the woods of New Hampshire, where the
We're-
Irish have taken over.
like we were joking about like casting in the woods of New Hampshire in an outside shed parking lot theater, and the neighbors are playing the sheeter, and the neighbors are playing very loud music. And it was funny because throughout the music it'd be like a very like tense moment, it'd be like Simple Man playing. It's like, wow, this actually kind of fits, you know. And then like what AC/DC came on, I'm like, nah, I killed it.
Jeremy, what did you think?
It was a good movie.
No, you hated it.
No, I did like it. I don't. I guess you
don't wanna
guys
bang
watched a completely different movie than I watched, where all this stuff happens that I don't get. I'm like, I'm watching a Halloween movie. And it's scary jump stuff, and that's what I want to see. So I think it was very, very well done. I think there was a lot of great imagery from it. There's a few jump scares, and then a lot of gore, a lot of great gore. Not like
Yeah, it was,
not overplayed, not something just it was just like
Some class to it.
quality. It was
a
great.
lot of it wasn't even like, as far as gore, like the brutality was more powerful than the gore. Like,
Absolutely.
when we slammed into the kid's head into the banister, and
Yeah.
I'm just like, that was brutal. There's not even a lot of blood in there.
Exactly. Yeah. They can't.
There's
Yeah.
not a
But
lot
that
of
was-
blood
it
in
was-
that
that moment.
Same with when
slam against banisters. He does that a lot.
when the dude gets like stabbed in the eye with the butcher knife. It's like it could have been way more gory and overdone, but it's like just that seeing it in like
It's the-
you can
it's
imagine
the-
getting like it's
the-
more psychological.
It's exactly it.
They play on it.
I think
It's the same thing they did with the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Everybody remembers that movie as the goriest movie in the world. It's not.
Yep.
There's a pint of blood in the entire movie.
Yeah.
The only one who sheds blood in the movie is Leatherface.
No shit.
Huh.
So it's all that's what I
He
like.
cuts his leg with the chainsaw.
There's
You haven't seen this movie?
Oh no.
That's
it
why.
came out in '74. Like sorry for the spoiler, but you had your chance.
Yeah,
But that's what like even like My Bloody
You should say
Valentine.
spoilers like every 30 seconds and somebody stumbles on them.
Yeah, like,
I have a
Thinking they're
there's
turning on Peacock.
you know, it's funny. Every time we go live, we always have callers, which is cool. We get people from like Australia, and we get the callers coming in from all
Has
over the
anybody
world.
popped on?
Nobody. I think everybody's seeing like first night. Either people are out watching this movie,
Yep.
or they're like, I'm not fucking listening to that until.
I mean, what time is it in America? 10. Yeah, so it's probably like a lot of our people.
It is a
like,
Friday.
listen
We've
from-
never done a live cast on a Friday. It's usually
No.
a weeknight. On a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, people start pouring in. I'm like, whoa.
And a lot of them are from like Australia and shit, which
Yeah,
is
it's
time
cool.
difference. It's probably like they're probably just like having lunch. Like, yeah, what's on?
The
for
call-ins are
dumb
great.
metal.
People call in and stuff, but
A lot of weird AC/DC.
and we
fans out
can't
there.
do that right now, unfortunately, folks. So if anybody does try or listens to this, wants to call in, we have that feature off right now. But yeah, I can tell people are probably like, release party. I don't want to listen to this.
Yeah. Plus, it's like a spoiler, and a lot of people probably it just came out like what less than 12 hours ago. So a lot of people are
Yeah.
like, all right, you know what? I'm gonna
Yeah, hell yeah.
I'm gonna watch it, and then I want to hear it. You know what I mean?
So
Give
we
people a
waited
chance.
2 years for this movie because of COVID. Universal pulled all their movies like every other industry or every other agency, and they still did the same fucking thing they should have just done anyway. Add it to streaming. The plan was never to push this to streaming. It was because of the movie Freaky. that came out with Vince Vaughn where he replaces his body with a teenager and he's
Oh my
a
god,
serial
I
killer.
remember that. Yes.
And it's new and it's the play on
Yeah.
the mother Freaky
Yeah.
Friday.
Yeah.
And it's an awesome. According to
Is it
James,
good,
we
actually?
got
Which
James
Jamie Lee
on the
Curtis was
line.
also in that,
That's
right?
about
Pretty
James.
good, actually.
James said it was very good
that
too.
is
And
surprising.
that did
but I
shit
like
in the theaters,
I like
so
that.
they had it streaming.
I didn't.
Yep.
I enjoyed
By far the best iteration of Freaky Friday.
it. Wasn't
Cool,
Jamie Lee
cool.
Curtis also in Freaky Friday? Or at least,
Yeah,
at least
she
the one Lindsay
was in
Lohan.
it.
Don't know.
I think there was
yeah,
an.
she was Lindsay Lohan.
That was that a remake? Was the
was a
original
remake.
Freaky Friday? It was.
He has an
Okay, so-
obsession with Jamie Lee Curtis,
Who, me?
which I cannot feel bad about.
Like,
I have
I
an
agree.
obsession.
Side
You do,
note to
and I
that
do too,
Freaky
I think, in a
Friday
sense.
reference,
Oh,
Yeah.
because like growing up, it's like, is she really her? We talked about.
She is
Ran into,
at birth. She was.
Dave.
It's
No
medical
shit.
fact, sir.
Wow.
So she had both. All right, hold on. We're having two different
Okay.
conversations. Hold on. We need to
okay.
get back on the same page. We're talking about Jamie Lee Curtis because she was in Freaky Friday
yeah,
and also in Halloween.
yeah.
So as a doctor,
Yeah. Yes.
or not a doctor, but
She was born with both sex organs, and then one, like, what happens when you grow up? What happens is one decides
off.
to overtake the other.
well, is that why I have tits and a dick? Am I a
Oh my
hermaphrodite?
god, no.
She's not a
No one
hermaphrodite.
is.
She was at birth.
She was at birth. She had both sex organs. Obviously, she became female.
Well, yeah.
And she still has testes. They stayed inside
Is
her
this-
body.
is this-
I believe they're still there.
I
That she
want
still
proof.
has testes.
Where's
No,
the
dude,
proof?
this has been a thing for like 30 years now.
It is. It's an old thing. And
Yeah.
you know what? I was gonna make a point about Halloween, but we're going Jamie Lee Curtis only, but it's okay.
Well, yeah. It's
I was just really
Jamie Lee
impressed with
So are
like,
you trying to say
when
she's
they-
technically the first female transvestite?
oh god, I don't know these facts. I don't
Hashtag
know this
Jamie
data.
too.
I don't know this
She's
data.
an amazing actress. so
She's an
is.
amazing
She is
actor.
amazing.
She is an amazing actor.
And
I'm pretty sure I got my first boner to her in True Lies with the dance.
This just took a left turn, hard left.
Yeah.
I
Well,
agree.
yeah.
I was gonna
This
get
one-
back onto
Sorry,
the
yeah.
We
plane.
were on a really
We
good
were doing well.
psychological, sociological level, and then
Who let the dog out?
And then,
Who
Who
let
let
the
the dog
out?
then you
out?
asked me a question.
I know. Why
did
did you give an answer?
But-
so this is your fault.
What-
Yes, good movie. It's,
It was a
you
great
know,
movie.
There's blood.
Downhill.
As a newcomer, I would just like to say my favorite
Oh, Elmac.
brutal aspect of this movie
We
was when Michael broke the fluorescent light and
Oh,
stabbed it
yeah.
through her neck.
Yeah.
I thought that was the most brutal kill.
You can hear it through the
Cutting through the
Exactly.
veins, and he twists
like,
it.
The gurgle,
you can hear,
the
like, her
gurgle.
breath through the tube.
Exactly. I thought that was the most brutal aspect of the film, and I was
pretty brutal.
that actually got me. I got chills through my body when I saw that.
whole sequence.
That was.
First of all, who would have ever thought Lenny Clark would be in a
Yeah.
Halloween movie?
It's kind of random.
Well,
I
it was
don't
a
give a
pretty
shit.
wide. It
Get
was
the
a
fuck
wild
out of the
cast. I
house.
liked it. I actually loved the cast.
Yeah, they did really well.
We have a question from the.
Yeah, question from the audience.
State your
guess-
name and where you're from.
This is Elmac. I'm from Newport, New Hampshire, and I now live in Boston. And my question, so I had to drag myself to watch this because I really don't like horror movies. But also I did like the second Rob Zombie movie, which was surprising, yeah. But anyways, so the reason why I was feeling a little better about this was because I realized he wasn't a man, he was an entity, hence the boogeyman thing, and it felt less scary to me because he's just like a thing that looms like a legend in lore. But my question is, since like Jeremy was saying, we are not in an English class and getting graded on unpacking the psychology of it all, what do you think he is? If he isn't a man, like who like Jeremy specifically, what is that guy?
That's a great
You
question.
can never forget Loomis. He said he's purely and simply
Evil.
Yeah.
he's evil. He is
He's the
evil.
devil?
Well, no, the devil is that's a person or a thing or an entity, but evil is a concept which can
An essence.
yeah,
He's
an
like the
essence that
the
can
energy of
yeah.
evil.
Yeah, he and every time
He's
like
a dark spot. He's a vortex.
Which is drawn
and
by
every
the
time
house.
he kills, he gains more power. He
It's gonna
transcends.
be the house, man.
That was
He's
a
a
weird
human
that was
Horcrux.
a weird thing though.
Yes, he is.
Ooh, I like that human Horcrux. Yep.
Yeah,
Bummer.
he is, and it's evident. You guys, I mean, I wasn't sure at the end of Halloween. I wasn't sure in Halloween 2018, midway through, and then of course at the end in the fire, I'm like, and we knew that there was this whole trilogy coming. I'm like, he can't be human. There's just no way he's going to survive all this. Although the way he does survive in the basement, there's a big spoiler. It was genius that they just picked the gun shed that's going to have a fireproof door, and he's going to hide behind it until the fire trucks come and get him out. I mean, they bitched for, everyone was like, how can you get out of that basement? Oh, he's going to bend the bars. No, he's going to find a trap door. No, Laurie, and I couldn't figure it out either. I was going, how the fuck is this guy going to get out?
He does the same thing at the end of the original Halloween 2. They blow him up in the hospital, and then when they bring him back in 4, they show how he gets out. He just like escapes out the bottom or something.
Yeah, exactly.
That was the most brutal scene for me, was when he killed like 8 firefighters.
Yeah,
that was
Straight
on
up.
top of like 5 other
But
first
I
responders.
Yes,
love the fact
yes,
not
that
only
was
are
good.
we remaking every horror movie, now we're remaking the sequels of horror movies.
Yeah.
Because 2018 is essentially a remake of Halloween 2.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
And they had a lot of that references to that in here. 'Cause
Yeah.
They spent a lot of time in the hospital.
Yep, Haddonfield Memorial,
right.
they had the same sign. They didn't go and change the sign and try to do something different. It was a total homage to 2. People were waiting for it. The other thing is, I think people thought it was going to be totally in the hospital the entire. I'm like, no, they had to have changed things.
And one of there's a lot of nods to even all of them, because even one of the cops, when they show him in the 70s, I believe, looks like the sheriff who takes over for Bracken in the later movies, 4 and 5.
Oh, I get what you're saying. Okay,
He
yeah.
looks a lot like him, so it's almost like they
That's
were kind of
interesting.
going
I
for that.
think. They were
Oh, no,
like
you're
cowboy hats, right?
You're talking about the cowboy. That's a reference to the Man in Black. The sheriff wearing the black cowboy hat in this one.
That's a reference to
No
Win
doubt.
from Part 6.
No.
He's going to end up staying in.
But that was
in
wasn't that a
Halloween.
whole different
His character
universe?
was pretty weak, though. I'm not gonna lie. He really didn't do
At
anything.
this point,
You're
he
right.
is, but
You're-
they're tipping
He
the
really
hat to
just-
everyone.
You're
They
right.
got the,
He's so lost.
but-
and then he
that
snaps-
entire
there's
movie.
he snaps with the
I did love the
Writing
Mac. All right.
everything in.
Yeah, I did love the nod to the masks from 3, which were obviously very
Oh, yeah,
predominant.
Yeah, that was
Mm.
But so the whole like Man in Black, wasn't that a different universe completely? Wasn't that the whole like rune we were talking about this morning, the Rose Rune or whatever the fuck it is?
It's the Thorn series.
The Thorn
They
series.
consider it the Thorn series,
Where
based
it's
off
like
of
he's-
Ancient Rune.
And they kind of start going like the supernatural route with
Yeah.
those movies, and that's why they kind of bring it back, and that's why I'm surprised that the Man in Black that was kind of synonymous with those
Yeah,
films.
I
Kind of
think it was just a nod. The
Just a
hat.
nod?
Yeah, just the hat's a nod.
Yeah, but
no, but
I
he
don't
was
understand.
like
You know
very
what?
he was
He
in.
rocks that fucking hat though.
I
He
don't
does.
He looks
understand.
good in
He
that
does
hat.
well that hat very well.
There's no doubt. I have a feeling Halloween Ends, he'll have significance. Right now, I think he is he's a underdeveloped character on purpose. They don't want to
Okay.
get to his story yet.
All right, so maybe that plays on
because
the,
they're killing-
that makes sense.
Because
That
they're
makes
killing
sense.
everybody.
Yeah.
maybe
There's
that plays
nobody
on the
left.
supernatural card. Like he's gonna step in and it's kind of gonna maybe there's gonna be a bigger nod to like the whole Thorn Rune.
Yeah.
Fucking.
Do we think a lot of this was nodding? There was a lot of nods to the other movies with the actors that were in the previous movies. So I
Oh,
think
yeah.
that was the point of it, right? Was to bring them back and like give them their own significance
Their-
again
yeah.
or something,
I
right?
guess, but what I didn't like about that
Like
was
Hawkins too.
we
like he
we
was the
brought
big one.
we brought all these guys back. So we brought Domino's. We brought Bracket back. We are not sponsored by Domino's. There's just a car passing on the street.
With a very bright domino. Now we're all hungry for pizza.
We're on a cul-de-sac, so things move very slowly here. But I didn't like that. I didn't like you bring all these guys back from the original and you just slaughter them all. That was the one thing I was like, come on, Bracket had to
Yes,
die.
I get your point.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Finishing
I
what he
was.
started.
That's where I was going with that one.
Well, no,
It's you closing up those chapters.
You made that same kind of point. How he's kind
Very
of tying up.
beginning of the original
You're right.
movie.
Taking
Oh
out.
He
man.
jumps onto the roof of that car the same way that he did in the original movie.
Oh, you're so
And
right.
he's banging on the window the same way. It's just a total callback, and
Yeah.
he's finishing what he started.
So you're right.
and
Like
it was
Caruso,
the same thing that happened in the original movie.
Clean up crew.
yeah,
When
tying up
Loomis
loose
is
ends.
saying he was looking through that window. That's the window when they first started referencing it.
Yeah.
You're right.
Looking past
You're
the
right.
window, looking through the wall, looking to this night.
Yeah.
Oh,
Mm.
well.
This worked.
You know,
I give you a little. That's a little show right there. Can
Yeah,
see
that
that.
was good.
Yeah.
And then
That's
it's
cool.
quiet, and all you can hear is the cicadas.
Will the next one be the end though? Is the real
It's called
question.
Halloween Ends, so it
Yeah, I'm
should.
pretty sure.
David Gordon
But then
Green.
again,
Will it
Kiss is
real?
out-
Will it
Kiss
real?
is now on their ninth farewell tour, so who knows?
David Gordon Green said this is the last for him, but obviously with the revenue it's generated, it's a moneymaker.
Yeah.
This is all it is, folks. Nobody gives a shit about movies. It's about dollar signs.
Yeah, they'll make more, but this next one's gonna be the last,
No.
probably good one.
For David Gordon Green, then the series is killed, and he's like, it's absolutely going to go on. I was saying I think we were talking about it, or we were talking
no,
about
we were
it.
cuddling.
I think it was us cuddling.
Yes.
I get confused. The blonde hair.
It's
Yeah.
boobies and blonde hair. It's
I can see it.
I'm
we're
pretty
both
sure it's going
Just
to end up
Hazel's
being
Eye
like
Blue,
a
so
Netflix series
happy.
or a Shudder series. It would
Yep.
be cool to see a TV series, and I don't care when
Like
they
an
base it.
offshoot.
Yeah, but I think that Jamie Lee won't be in it. Like,
No,
they're
she's
gonna,
gotta be
all
in
the
No,
other
it might be like a
It's gonna be
younger
like Jason
Cora.
X. No, they're gonna go
What?
in space with
Well, here's
with
the thought.
McMyers.
They
It's gonna get
that was originally intended for the franchise as a whole, anthology.
Oh.
The second Halloween movie, John Carpenter did not want to do
No.
the Michael Myers story.
Yep,
He wanted
you're
to do
right.
something different,
Yep.
I remember that.
and they wouldn't let him. And they said you could do it, but we want another Myers movie because that
Yeah.
was a cash cow.
Yeah.
And that's how we ended up getting Season of the Witch. And they were like, sorry.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they didn't like it, which
Dude, that movie still gets like everyone.
Halloween
I
3
liked it.
forever.
Oh, I love Halloween 3, but everyone's like, oh well, it doesn't fit the. Well, don't think of it as a fucking Halloween
Yeah,
Michael Myers movie. Think of it as a standalone.
Season of the Witch. It's
Yeah.
a
Bruce
period.
brought something else that movie might have done better.
I think so.
Yeah.
Everyone was expecting Michael Myers. You know what I mean? Like Halloween 1, Michael Myers. Halloween 2, Michael Myers. Halloween 3,
That's why they had
sexy
to bring
Tom
him
Atkins.
I love that they went a different route.
I do too, but
I love
there,
that
man.
it's still a Halloween movie.
And they still nod it. They nod it in every single.
yeah.
And then it makes room for Michael Myers to return the night he came back. That
Yeah.
was the tagline for 4. The night he came back, because the original was the night he came home.
Yep.
The night he came back. It was like when they brought new Coke in.
Yeah.
Here's new Coke. Everybody hated it. And they're like Coca-Cola Classic.
Yeah.
Oh.
No. I was like, whoa.
All
We
right.
don't own the rights to any of these either. So.
Yeah.
No sponsorships for
This is all
Coke. Sorry.
hearsay.
For a minute there, I thought you were talking about cocaine. I was like,
I did too
what?
for a second. Like,
I was like,
There's
what?
new
New
Coke?
cocaine?
There's new Coke. There's new Coke called the New Coke Classic.
So obviously another spoiler. There's a scene where Donald Pleasance, obviously who has been passed away for what 7-8 years now,
Oh,
maybe
long
longer.
Time, yeah.
I'd say closer to 20.
Really?
He
Was it
died
the
right
90s?
after the. He died right after the 6th movie.
He
Oh,
got
that
shot
was
6
dedicated.
times.
Shit. All right, so it's been a while. But there's I don't know. We can't tell. We don't know if it's maybe CGI or like an
Are
actor.
we talking about Loomis?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And
Yeah, I want to know how they did that.
And we
Yeah.
have a comment from a listener. This is Master P 1976. Thank you very much for joining us. We really appreciate it. So Master P says, "What is your opinion on the bullying we saw back in 1978 against the kid compared to the mob scene where the patient in the hospital jumped out of the window because of the bullying of the mob?"
Oh, that ties into. Okay.
Oh.
So what do we think of that? What's our opinion of the 78 bullying scene compared to the modern 2018 mob scene? Is what
Still
type of
pointing out flaws
comparison?
in humanity.
Yeah, pointing out
Hmm.
flaws in humanity. I think that answers it. I mean, I think in
At a
comparison,
grander scale, though.
Yeah,
I think
it's
this was
obviously
worse.
Because
Yeah.
if you want to tie those two things together,
Yeah, because bullying's bad, but being a mob after misinformation is okay.
yeah, there's a lot more fear of death with a mob than there is
Oh.
of bullying.
3 bullies.
You're
Yeah.
definitely going to have higher
Well,
chances
when they
statistically of
bullied Lonnie in
dying.
the original, all he got was a broken pumpkin.
It is interesting though
No.
because it's playing on innocence. You know, the kid was very innocent, obviously, in that moment.
Yep.
And Michael even left him alone, which
Exactly. Which is
wonder, right?
surprising.
So then,
Very
so
surprising.
it's like good versus evil.
Yep.
I mean, obviously that man that was in the
Yep.
stairwell, he's not innocent, but at the end of the day, do you still treat people, with a level of decency or respect?
Master
This
P
is-
also
that-
raises. That's a great
That's
question.
deep. That is deep, Lolo. Excellent.
Thank you
it's
for
hard
going
to
deep
know,
on
yeah.
this.
That's like being an adult. We're all guilty of sin to an extent. A child is innocent.
And you think about this though. 1978, we had bullying of children, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
But we fast forward. What basically, I think what Master P is alluding to is what's changed. The mob scene is worse than it was back in '78 with the kids just bullying. It's like things haven't changed or progressed.
Well, look at
We're
who
stuck
who
in-
was one of the first people to start the mob, Lonnie.
Yeah,
Who was getting bullied in the first movie, Lonnie.
yeah.
It's a
Oh,
cycle.
yeah.
It was cool because Lonnie was
Cycle, yeah.
doing the bullying. Lauren always says it. Hurt people hurt people.
Yeah, hurt people hurt people. I love that she said
Dude,
that.
it's real, right? That's so real. And it's funny because
That is
we
real.
saw Lonnie be an asshole in '78. We finally got his backstory of him getting picked on by the, what was it? It wasn't the O'Doyles. It was the
O'Doyle.
They were like,
Nice.
don't
Nice.
fuck with the Mulaney's or whatever the hell it was.
Kind of looks like the O'Doyles. You've been watching Adam Sandler movies.
I love it. I love it.
think.
Oh, Dials rule!
It is.
It is. Oh, yeah, watch Who Be Halloween. It's on there.
We loved, Hoobie Halloween.
Hoobie Halloween
was
was
fucking
fun.
great. Yeah.
Such a good
I want
one.
that canister.
Yeah, so, but it was funny. I love that. I'm like, here are these three knuckleheads, totally Irish. Like, you couldn't have been more stereotypical Irish, white trash from, like, the 70s. Like, come on. We're not that bad.
I like that they went with the timepiece.
I mean, my dad
Went
was
back
born in
and they
Cambridge. I
went-
don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe Cambridge was a different place back in the day.
That's another. It is good because they're doing that a lot more now. They did
Yeah.
that with the one of the last Texas Chainsaw Massacres. They had a scene in the very beginning where it's in the farmhouse and it takes place, moments after Sally Hardesty gets away.
Yeah.
And it's all this nostalgia. And finally, like all the stuff when they started remaking these movies, all the stuff the fans wanted are now getting into it.
Mm-hmm.
They're making it back onto the screen, which is really cool. And I think they did it a lot better in this
That was
than they did in
very well done.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yeah, I
The-
agree.
The matching of the film,
Yeah.
the way it looked, the matching
Look,
of the
feel.
mask, Kevin, you pointed out, was spot on.
Man, he did a great job.
Yeah. They
He did a
do.
great job.
And they're all about the Easter eggs in this series. For whatever reason, they just always want to
Yep.
nod the past and try to, jigsaw back to that.
And I think the more you watch
Hey,
that bar
homage.
scene where they're doing that speech about the survivors and all that, I think you're going to see more familiar faces in that crowd the more times you watch this movie.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good point.
What did you guys think of the bar scene? Did you feel like that was necessary? And was it also, were they all there together as this is what they probably do yearly on how, okay. So
I thought it
made
was kind of
sense.
weird,
Yeah.
especially when the way they put the lights on each individual person. It was awkward. I felt awkward to watch it, and I felt
Yeah.
like it would be awkward for the individual to experience
Like,
it.
here's the cast from the first one.
Right.
Exactly.
Here's all their
Set
medals.
That mob mentality up right away.
I get what you're saying.
Lay the groundwork for that because like Doug said, it's a very fast-paced movie.
Yeah,
They
and
jump
he-
right into it. It's the middle movie in a trilogy.
Was
It's a
that
little bit
Marion
Scream-like,
Chambers?
though. It's like kind of stuff they do in Scream.
And that was Marion Chambers, right? The nurse?
Is that her name?
I think it might be.
I don't
She-
know. I never knew the
Okay.
actress's name. but it
She-
is from the
I
original.
think so. I hope I'm right. It was just strange seeing her with, like, Tommy Doyle's older, Lonnie's older, and then Lindsay's older, but I'm like, she's, like, way older than these guys. Why is she hanging out with them at a bar? But
Because
it
they
makes
had this
sense.
experience together.
Yeah, and that brought them together, and
Mhm.
that they became close friends. Okay, yeah, that. I think a lot of, like, one of our, actually, everyone who knows Marco, usually in the podcast, his opinion was he really didn't like this. He's gonna
Really?
Yeah,
He
he's gonna
really
watch
did-
it again. He just didn't like it. Thought it was too fast paced. He didn't like the bar scene, and like he thought some of the shots were just unnecessary. Like when they had the quick ventriloquist scene, which I thought was fine. It was just
Yeah.
what was going on in the bar
Yeah.
at the time. They were doing a talent
Yeah.
show
Yeah.
with adults, but he's just like, I think that whole thing was just poorly put together.
There's
So-
always pieces in movies that don't make sense. What's the point of
It also brought in 2 more characters to be killed. Get the kill count up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now his opinion could change. Look,
Yeah.
again, second time watching it, I immediately at 2:00 this morning, or at 4:00 when it ended, I went to bed. And my wife's just like, "Wow, what were you doing?" I'm like, I had to watch Halloween Kills one time at least. And she's like, "How was it?" I was like, really unsettling, and I don't even know if I like it yet. I'm like, I couldn't just be like, I knew how much I love this. I was like, I gotta think about this all night. There was a lot going on. They bounced back and forth between 78 and 2018, but I know why they did that. Doug had said, well, if you're watching a trilogy, you got to make each movie a standalone movie. If
Yep.
people just jump into a series midway through, you're going to be so fucking lost if there's not something.
Yep.
So what they were doing is trying to explain 78 without having to
Yeah.
really give it to you on a cart and say, hey, you got to go watch Halloween to figure out what's going on here.
I think it was reasonable, the back and forth. I think there was like,
Well played.
I think it was equally balanced. I think it was fine. Like, and I haven't seen the first couple of films in a while, so I'm not as well versed as the rest of this group. But from coming from seeing all the films over my lifetime and coming into this, I felt very comfortable with it, and I felt like it was refreshing to have like this was like you were on the edge of your seat the whole movie. Like this was thrilling, which
Even
was
when
nice.
Even when they're back in scenes from like 78.
Exactly.
Like, the stuff's already happened.
Exactly. It was a thrilling experience. Like even though I'm not a newcomer to the Halloween like series,
Mhm.
to jump in, and I don't even know what number are we on for Halloween movies. Is this like the 7th?
This is 12, I believe.
Oh my God. So,
If you include
so I'm
zombie,
way off.
this is
So I'm way
12.
off. So
It
like
depends.
it was thrilling. It was enjoyable. Like
Yeah.
you can nitpick it, but
I
at
will
the end of the day, like directors will have ideas and they'll have a direction, and not everyone's gonna get every single thing, and that's the point. But I gotta say, from like watching it, like outside, we are outside. We're not inside a theater. We are outside where there's like ambient noise. We're having beers. We're having a good time, and I'm just casually watching this. This was very thrilling and very enjoyable. This was a good movie,
With
in my
distraction.
opinion.
With distraction.
With distraction,
Yeah,
this
you're
was
right.
an excellent film, in my opinion.
Wow. Okay,
And
that's
I'm
good.
very
Good to hear.
impressed with the quality at this level, this far in the series.
I would have to say though, unfortunately, like Hereditary is the best horror movie ever. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh my God,
Well, you and
I disagree.
All of us.
Yeah,
me
we
and
had a
Lauren,
bad experience with that movie.
We
didn't
went
we?
to see that in the theaters, and we got up and we were like,
Overrated.
"My God, was that a
Gotta been
shit
laughed.
fucking
I was-
movie?"
Overrated.
96 on RT.
Slow burns are not a thing.
Overrated.
Slow burns for a really bad witch.
It was the
cult scene.
slowest. Like the last
Worst.
couple of minutes were the only good minutes.
People were like, "Shocking."
I know, and that's the thing. It's like, who are these people that make these decisions? But anyways,
You know, this
I'm
didn't
the-
score well.
I'm just a
This
normal
scored
person.
lower than Halloween
I will say,
2018,
though,
and
I
it's in the 50s right
It's
now
a
on
good movie.
I
RT.
feel like we're missing some backstory for some of those characters. Like, let's be honest, I know it's a movie.
Cheers, buddy.
But
I
how
like
many
the-
of them,
I
after
like the
traumatic
fest.
childhoods like that, would
It
be
is.
still be in that
Good.
town on Halloween night
Right.
at the same bar? Like, I
They
mean,
stayed-
That's a whole
I'm happy.
part of the reason why he's doing what he's doing and why he's so powerful.
I mean, unless it was it an anniversary or something? Maybe I missed
Yeah, well, it was
that.
Halloween.
No, but
Well,
it was
40 years later. It was
40
20,
years?
78, 40. So this is supposed to take place after the 2018 movie. So this is still technically happening in 2018.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but most
Even-
of those people were adults, but they were children in the 78. So
What Lauren's trying to say is,
Why
like,
would they still
why
be
were
in
they
that
all
town?
still in that
Right.
town?
Oh,
I
well,
mean, they
because
could.
But
It's
it's a
small
movie,
town
so-
America.
we all have small town, like in Waltham, you go home where me and Kevin grew up, and it's like there's still,
But
wow,
it-
90% of you still live here.
And
Like,
look though, they didn't have great vehicles. They were totally like very low income blue collar. You saw
Waltham.
Lonnie's car.
Back then.
It was different colors, and even Tommy's car too. He had the hood seemed like it was different from the rest of the car. It was old. So I mean, they're just like that's where they grew up. That's probably where they're working.
That's where
I
the
still
film
don't
is.
understand why
Yeah.
the nurse was there. Like, I don't know.
Well,
Yeah,
no,
right,
there
like
was
just-
a nurse in one of the movies. That was the thing.
Well, yeah, she was the nurse in the first movie in '78, but it's like I was saying to these guys, like, okay, it makes sense. They're there for the anniversary. They're celebrating together. Like, hey guys, we're survivors. Is what it was.
Well, it's a small
Not to
town. They
mention-
have one
Yeah.
therapist, and they're all telling them,
Yeah.
you'll get
Was
stronger
Smith
if you stay
Grove
together.
was Smith Grove in?
No, Smith Grove. He says how many miles away it is.
That's right. Yeah, he was a
Haddonfield's
trans.
150 miles away from here. For
Yeah.
Christ's sake, he can't even drive a car. Well, he
Yeah.
was doing very well last night.
Yeah,
Maybe
that
someone
was
around here
perfect.
taught him, or whatever the
Gave
fuck.
him lessons.
Gave him lessons.
Yeah, then we
Insane.
find out in
So
6
is-
that it was Win the whole
so
time,
is
giving him
the-
fucking driving lessons.
The other crazy inmate guy gonna be in the last one? Because remember they said 3 people got out,
Oh no, I thought it was 2.
or 2 in addition to Michael. So the other dude with the glasses, is he gonna be in the last one?
I don't know.
Great point.
Because he was on the.
It was very strange seeing the Umbrella Man. It was very strange, but
That was sad.
yeah, it was
Well,
sad.
I didn't like that.
All right,
scene at all.
so
Yeah.
Kevin, now after watching the second time, a little more with it.
Yeah.
Do you still feel the same as you did this morning? This
Yeah,
morning.
this morning.
Do you still feel the same, or is it kind of like now watching it, not falling asleep halfway through, not because it was boring, just because it was 2 in the
Yeah.
morning? Like I feel like it. I woke up and it was just like there was just a crowd of people rushing, and it felt incredibly rushed, and like.
Mhm.
But now, like in the movie, the first like half is just like this build up.
Yeah.
They go to the bar, he kind of grabs. It's like
Yeah.
like snowballs with all these people, and the energy is just building up. The hate's building up, and
Yep.
then the hospital scene.
Yep.
But so do you still feel the same, or has it grown on you a
Well,
little bit?
first I want to say we don't own the rights to Journey, and again, my neighbors are really fucking getting jammed up, which is good for them.
Kevin, we don't own the rights, but don't stop believing.
touche,
Oh.
my friend.
We might.
But to answer your
Yeah,
question,
sorry, guys.
I don't feel the same. I've had a second chance. I still stand by my top 2 are 78 and 18. I really like what was done in both. So I would put this in third, and I'm still including.
And is that in order,
For me,
basically?
don't
like
forget,
first, it's 2018, and then this. so
Michael
it's going in order.
Myers series. This Michael Myers series, absolutely, those are my top 3 right now. Kills take second. Takes third place.
Takes third.
Yep.
So now I'm curious to see what they do with Ends, Halloween Ends, and what
Yeah.
you think of it, and if it just
Where-
goes in order and
Mike
succession, or if it.
Coalescence is a beautiful thing.
Yeah, dude, it's
Oh, I understand.
It's
why
going
you
to be.
did
It's going to be It's not even going to be a horror movie. It's going to be a David Gordon Green drama, and it's going to be about the love of Hawkins and Laurie.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest, and this is a wicked spoiler. So
Wait.
stop listening if that's the case.
Written by Nora Roberts. What
I
the
thought
fuck?
she was gonna die in this one. I thought they were actually gonna kill Jamie Lee.
Yeah,
In
we
this one.
hope. I mean, we
That's
thought.
what I thought.
Did we? Did we hope?
Kind of. It was
Well,
just like.
Halloween
Well,
Kills. That's what I thought.
in the first one, she
Yeah.
just like I love the first movie, but I hate Jamie Lee Curtis in it. I love her being a final girl and such like a badass, but she just if you don't actually watch like the other day I was cleaning the apartment, listening to it because we're gonna be watching it, and I've been watching it maybe like 6 months or so, and the whole time all you hear is her just whimpering, squealing, whining. She's worse than what's his name in fucking
Doug's like, will you just kill
Night
her?
of the Living
Oh
Dead.
wait, she doesn't. She doesn't
like with the wailing, the screaming,
All
the
right.
the whimpering, and I'm like, my god, she's just a whiny bitch. Will you
Doug's
just
gonna be
kill her
getting
already?
Doug's gonna be getting hate mail
Whoa,
from the
Doug.
feminist groups
Whoa.
across the world.
God, I know.
I really
Speaking
did
of
think
lynch
she was gonna die,
mobs,
though, not
he
the-
doesn't
not
like
the daughter.
Laurie. Kill him.
Oh, not the dog. Yeah.
No, I did not see that coming at all.
Wait. Oh, Laurie's
Yes.
daughter. No, I'm thinking the granddaughter because there's 3 generations. I keep forgetting
Oh yeah,
that.
spoiler, massive spoiler alert of a major character.
Which
Remember I told you guys during COVID when they pulled the movie, I was like, fuck this, I'm reading the script.
yeah.
Well, it wasn't the full script. I read the spoilers in the script, and I was like, I'm so fucking pissed off. I'm just gonna read. And I was like, oh no, I really didn't want to read that. I'm like, yeah,
So you
Judy
did
and
notice
Judy
that.
Greer's. It was like on the first page, and Judy Greer's character dies in Michael's sister's old bedroom. I was like,
Dude,
all right, well, there
looking
goes
up-
that.
It's like more, maybe like one of the last scenes. I don't know if it's the very last.
They
but
made it very similar to like the videography in it too, with like the kill, like how
Like
it
his
was in the
sister.
original.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
it's like
totally-
that window. It's like she's looking out the window. She's in a trance. You know what is it about this fucking window?
Well, we got the foreshadow, remember?
But
And
she's
she's
not-
holding
at
the
least
mask,
not
and she's like,
topless, she's in
if
a
you want
Christmas
me,
sweater.
I'm an innocent woman. Come kill me, just like you killed your sister.
Yep.
Wow.
So yeah.
She had the mask.
kinda brought
And
that
then
up.
she saw him in the window, the kid version.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I mean. There's a connection, but hey, she might very well. We don't know if she's dead. She got
That's-
stabbed multiple times. We've seen that happen a million times where people come back. So
Yeah. Well, look at
Oh,
Hawking's got a fucking.
Great
You're right, he
doctor.
stabbed her in the arm.
Great doctor.
He
Yeah,
got
she-
arms.
I-
He
I-
definitely got chest a couple times.
I
but
kind of have the sinking feeling she's not dead.
yeah, it's
It just seems
possible.
like such a whoa.
Yeah, it's
Are
possible.
they still playing Journey?
Once
It's
again,
getting
we
loud.
don't. We are not playing Journey in
That's
the
true, too.
background. This is not on our. So we. Sorry, I can't filter it up.
I had another very
Please don't sue us.
profound point.
Once again,
I can't
please
remember.
don't sue us.
Fuck.
Steve Perry's lawyers will be calling on Monday,
That'd be cool.
sending his love.
Oh.
See, for me, 18 was the one I had to come around on.
Really?
Oh, I
It
loved
didn't
18.
catch with me right away, but now I've watched it quite a few more times since my initial watch, and I do love that one. It's awesome.
Such a good one.
I put that one and this one are tied. They're very different movies.
Hmm.
This one's just so fucking brutal.
Yeah. The kill count was like over 30.
Well-
Or was it about 30 so far?
What was? Do you know
What,
what
for
it
this
was?
movie
I
alone?
lost count early on because when you
Maybe
see
not
the
that
mob
high.
form,
Yeah.
you're like, every one of these people is gonna die.
Yeah.
Well, especially there's the scene where he's like in the street, basically dead, and they don't cuff him, they don't decapitate him, they don't do anything to restrain him. They just like assume he's dead, and then he just who knows how many he slaughters, like just in the street, you know.
I thought when
He gets beaten to submission in other movies in the series too, and
Yeah.
then when they go to hit him, they hesitate, and then they go to hit him that last time. It's like he heals completely in 30 seconds, and
Yeah.
he's back to being super strong.
You think it's gonna be like a Wolverine Weapon X type thing where you're just like
That's actually
there's bullet holes, like just
spoiler alert. That's actually how it
Yeah.
does go. I read the script for Halloween Ends, and it's actually a tie-in to the MCU.
yeah, into the MCU, and all of a sudden
The
it's like, oh
MCU.
shit,
Disney just bought out.
yeah. Oh,
Disney
fuck.
buys rights.
Oh no.
It's fucking
See
awesome.
Mickey
No,
Mouse in the
but
background.
because obviously they're gonna make more Halloween movies. After
Yeah,
this,
we know
after
that.
Halloween
There's
Ends.
no doubt.
If they were to set anything up, set up the anthology Halloween series.
Hmm.
Let's get a remake of Season of the Witch.
You know
Well,
it's
dude,
coming.
I was just gonna
That'd
say
be
You
that.
fucking know it's coming.
How
But
would
Just put it into a series instead of making it a movie. A standalone. Start it off as the first Halloween anthology. You know, redo it there. Start on episode 1 as that. Cool.
Make it a limited series, dude. Like a six
This is
episode-
not the end. There's millions and millions of dollars in Michael Myers or just the Halloween franchise alone. I think it's.
I hate to say it, like Michael Myers, very iconic. Like the butcher knife, the mask, like obviously could sell figurines, sure, it's like whatever, but Season of the Witch I think has just a strong following. If they made like better merch, like they have some merch, but it's pricey and it's hard to get.
Yeah, those
Like
masks
if they did a good like miniseries, or even just like a reboot remake, you know, of course I hope Tom Atkins is in it.
Studios aren't afraid of it. They've referenced that movie in 3 Halloween movies.
Yeah, it's almost like
Rob Zombie's Halloween.
we're gonna
I think
do
it might
it.
be his Halloween too.
They reference it
One
in
of
the
his.
in the guest too.
And
Yeah,
it's
they
the
do.
same
Oh,
way
the guest
as in
big
18.
time.
It's kids walking down the street wearing the mask.
Yep. So I don't know. I'm curious. I hope there's maybe it will end with Halloween Kills, and maybe they'll do Halloween 3 and then see where it goes. But I don't know. I have a lot of. I'm anticipating Halloween Kills.
It makes you wonder what they're gonna.
You mean
do with
Halloween
Michael.
Ends?
Like,
I'm sorry, Halloween
they
Ends.
obviously can't
Yes.
kill him. I mean, if they killed him, that would be the stupidest thing.
I think
You can't
it's
kill
going to
him.
be the end of Laurie Strode.
Maybe they both
Well, yeah.
die in the house when it burns down, and it's like, all right, well, it's just like a wash. It's like
Yeah,
poker. It's just like a push.
or we said it. What if they mindfuck us and just
It's a dream.
we think she kills him and she goes to look over the edge of where if she plops his body and it's
Oh.
fucking gone and it
It's
just
gone,
ends
yeah.
like it started in 78. Like,
Oh, that would be sick.
I-
That would be sick.
I think I'd be
Fuck all
happy
you.
with like a poltergeist ending where the house just like
sucks them all up. Yeah,
Oh.
just like implodes on itself.
interdimensional.
Yeah.
You know, Bruce Campbell runs in the door with the chainsaw.
Yes.
And plops the lament configuration
You
in the
really
middle
like
of the
that
room.
movie, don't
Fucking
you?
Pinhead
Yes.
and Cenobites come out and
Evil
they take Michael to hell.
Fantastic.
Slashy.
Slashy. Bam. Done.
Gonna take you back to hell, demon.
Spoiler.
Wrap it up.
Wrap it up. It's a wrap.
I donate.
All right.
Well, I mentioned the other series, though. This is going to make the other big franchises have to come back with something.
Well,
But they're going to have to fucking really put some thought into it.
I
I
mean,
mean,
I
you can't
agree.
come back with like the Nightmare remake they did.
Yeah.
It was junk.
I mean, Evil Dead's coming out with another movie, right?
I've been hearing about that for a while.
Evil Dead Rise.
Evil Dead
Yeah,
Rise.
it's really
Yeah.
gonna happen.
And I don't know who
It
went
takes
my
place
way,
in
but
it takes place in New York in a high rise. There'll be a female
Oh,
character.
Tyrant?
Jay,
No.
Jay, did you ever watch
Thanks, they
Ash vs.
They're trying
Evil
to
Dead?
they're trying to
I
do a
did.
new
I
take.
fell off, I
I
think,
get
the
it.
last season.
You didn't?
Sometimes you gotta stick
I
to
didn't
what you
finish
know,
it.
though.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know why. Maybe we got rid of stars.
Oh, see, I don't. I
Too many
played
streaming services. I was
Yeah.
just thankful Peacock let us have this for $5, and that was the premium version. Nobody had to go to a theater. I mean, I don't know how they're gonna make money off this. Look, there's how many people tonight watching this? None of us paid.
As
It was
Kevin Murray
nice.
sits there with a Halloween Kill shirt on, I don't know how they're going to make money off this. I couldn't possibly think how that could go over.
Wow, you just touche, my friend.
How many Halloween Kill shirts do you own already?
3.
All right.
Yeah, dude, you're not wrong. Okay, yeah,
I don't know how.
very
Well,
true. And these are like $40 a pop.
dude,
So
say a million. Really?
Yeah, they'll make the
oh,
money
yeah.
just fine.
Say a million people pay $5 a pop. You know, there's 5 million out of the gate.
yeah, you're right.
And then $40 a pop for shirts. You bought 3. You know, and then
You already
I'm sure
know
there's-
I have that Trick or Treat Studio 1 6-figure on. I'm like waiting for that email to come through. I'm like, that Kills figure's mine. It's got to go in the collection.
Oh, great. More Michael Myers stuff in our basement. Our child's gonna really be afraid.
Or be like,
I'm gonna have nightmares.
We're
Oh,
naming
be
our
the
child
opposite.
Michael. We didn't tell you.
yeah.
Like Eminem. No. There's something there.
We named him Michael.
Michael.
Yeah. All right. Well, on that note, we want to thank everybody for tuning in. Maybe it was just Master P that tuned in. The only other person. I get it. People don't want the spoilers, but yeah, we want to thank everybody for joining us on this after party slasher bash.
Flash department.
This is Kev signing out.
Google.
Thank you.